Welcome to another edition of the Hgp Sportscast. I'm Sean Embrag. We begin our sportscast with the news that Assistant Commissioner and Commandant of Police A Division, Clifton Ickings, and Islate was elected to serve as President of the Georgetown Football Association, GFA, but not before former GFF President Christopher Matthias walked out citing irregularities on the part of the GFF electoral body.
We would have seen a correspondence which established that there are some clubs which are not eligible to participate in the Congress. Having said that, we've sought to clarify from the Normalization Committee, who has taken on the role of Electoral Committee, as to which clubs can participate and which club cannot participate. And they're saying that everybody can participate. So we asked the other question, what are the eligibility requirements for you to participate in the Congress? And none was forthcoming. The minimum eligibility requirements, and none was forthcoming. None was forthcoming. There are some clubs who took the time out to fulfill the members' obligations and some who didn't. And for those who would have fulfilled the members' obligation to have the same rights as those who didn't fulfill the obligations, we find it ludicrous. We find it to be a charade, a shenanigan, and a facade. We will not be part of that.
Chairman of the GFF Normalization Committee, Clinton Orling, invited for a comment of Matthias' claims, responded.
Very satisfied with the process, very happy with the outcome. All members attended the meeting today. All members remained and voted for the slate of their choice. The process went amicably and very smoothly. No member of the Georgetown Football Association walked out. I don't know if Mr. Matthias said he's not participating. I didn't know what he meant by that. But his participation was on the ballot paper, so they did participate in the elections as a slate. And they received 2 votes out of the total of 10 votes. The other slate 1, which is the Higgins slate, received 8 votes. So there was full participation. There was some contention. We've clarified those contention. You can have a copy of our justification as to why we allowed those members to be, all members to be eligible. It's the same application as it's applied at CFU, CONCACAF, FIFA, and it will be applied for the GFF also.
President-elect Clifton Ickings promised to be all-inclusive to promote football in the association.
While we were in the election mood, I noticed some behavior that was probably coming from people from the Football Authority, and I think with all inclusive and share ideas with the right atmosphere, I think people will get to understand that they need to look at football for the country and not as an individual thing.
He pledged too to incorporate youths and work with the Ministry of Education.
We've been overlooking the youths too long in terms of sporting discipline. I think they are better energized in terms of use of energy, because we always say find something constructive to do with the energy before you think about doing the wrong things. So my thing is, I will work in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. Very, 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 very first and foremost, I'll put a proposal to the Minister. I know he's very receptive. Now we are trying to get fields in the communities. By doing so, the children will balance it with the school curriculum.
We shift our attention to our senior female footballers. Guyana's senior national women's football team, the Lady Jags, will face Puerto Rico on Wednesday, November 18 at the Otto Bolden Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago in the final round Caribbean Football Union CFU Women's Olympic qualifier. The CFU had written the Guyana Football Federation, GFF, stating that they were having major challenges in securing a host for the Women's Olympic qualifier. But the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation has now agreed to host the women's qualifier final round. Guyana, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico had qualified for the 4 teams playoff by coming out on top of their respective groups. The Lady Jags are expected to arrive in the Twin Island Republic on November 16, and should Guyana be victorious against Puerto Rico, they will advance to the final on November 20. The GDF ground was where the action took place on Sunday, October 18 of the doubleheader in the Stag Elite League. Gregory Jackie Chan Richardson and UC Phillips were the respective scores for their teams in the battle, GDF versus Pile FC. Delroy Fraser in stoppage time, that is the 92nd minute, gave GDF a much-needed win to hand Pile their first loss of the league and GDF their second win. GFC lost to Buxton United 2-1, their 4th loss of the tournament. In the first matchup of the doubleheader, Clive Andrews and Devon Denver Dennis scored for Buxton in the 14th and 38th to give Buxton their second win. Cruz Kelman was the scorer for GFC in the 86th minute. Pele FC still top the points table with 14 points, Alpha United 13, Sliggers FC 12, GDF and Futa Conquerors on 8 points each, the Netherlands 7, Buxton 6 and GFC 5 points. In more football news, at the Pee Wee Under-11 Courts Tournament, after round 3, St. Pius Enterprise, South Rumville, St. Margaret's, St. Angela's all lead their respective groups on 9 points, along with St. Agnes on 7. North Georgetown, Stella Maris, West Rumville, St. Ambrose and Tugville are in second place on 6 points, along with F.E. Pollard on 5. Players of the day will definitely be Mackay Adams, who scored 4 of the 6 goals St. Margaret's scored against St. Ambrose, who ended the game on 0. Keon Douglas is the next player with 4 goals for St. Angela's. They 10-0 School of the Nations. And that's our sports for today. Now for a look at the weather forecast.